What if everything we thought we knew about Queen Camilla's rise to the throne was a lie? In this explosive revelation, Parker Bowles, Camilla's ex-husband, uncovers the shocking truth behind her climb to royal power. From manipulating royal connections to crafting the perfect public image, Bowles pulls back the curtain on the hidden tactics that turned Camilla from a mere socialite into the queen consort. Bowles recounts how, behind closed doors, Camilla was not the loving partner many believed her to be, but a woman driven by ambition. He reveals how she strategically used her marriage to him to gain favor within the royal family, playing the role of the dutiful wife while secretly plotting to secure her future with Charles. Did she always have her eyes on the throne? Bowles says she was playing a long game, and it wasn't just about love, it was about power, control, and ambition. According to Bowles, every part of their marriage was a piece of Camilla's larger strategy. The public persona she carefully curated was only the surface. Behind the scenes, she was making moves that would set the stage for Charles's ascension and her eventual role as queen. Camilla's charm, according to Bowles, was a weapon she wielded with precision, making sure that everyone around her, friends, family, and the royal establishment, was on her side. But as Bowles opens up, he reveals how he became nothing more than a pawn in her grand plan. Was he a victim of her manipulation, or simply too blind to see what was happening? Bowles suggests that Camilla's ability to control her image was a reflection of the power struggle she was engaged in. As she climbed the social and political ladder, Bowles felt the walls close in around him, realizing that the woman he thought he knew was capable of far more than he ever imagined. Now, as Camilla sits by Charles's side as queen, the stakes are higher than ever. But what really happened behind the scenes? How far did Camilla go to manipulate not just the royal family, but the media and public perception? This chapter uncovers the shocking truths that no one saw coming, and trust us, it only gets darker from here. The affair that shattered everything. Did Prince Charles always plan to marry Camilla, or was it something more sinister? Parker Bowles reveals the hidden truth behind the infamous affair that changed the trajectory of royal history forever. It wasn't just an extramarital relationship, it was part of a carefully constructed plan to take down everything in its path. Bowles opens up about the moment he learned of the affair between Camilla and Charles, and the heart-wrenching realization that his entire marriage had been built on lies. What seemed like a small affair behind closed doors turned out to be a strategic power play orchestrated by Camilla herself. This was the final betrayal for Bowles, a blow that not only ended their marriage, but also reshaped the royal family's future. The affair with Charles wasn't just about passion, it was about securing power. Bowles reveals how Camilla's affair wasn't merely an act of infidelity, but a calculated move to position herself for a future with Charles, and she didn't care who got hurt in the process. As Bowles recounts his shock and devastation, it becomes clear that this affair wasn't just a personal matter, it was the turning point in Camilla's rise to the throne. But what made this affair so explosive? Bowles reveals shocking details that the public has never heard before, shedding light on just how far Camilla was willing to go to secure her place in the royal family. This wasn't just a love story gone wrong, it was a battle for control, and Camilla was determined to win, no matter the cost. The consequences of this affair would haunt not only Bowles, but also the entire royal family. How deep did the betrayal run? Bowles pulls no punches as he lays bare the emotional toll of living in the shadow of Camilla's manipulations. The affair with Charles wasn't just a scandal, it was the beginning of a much darker game, one that would change the course of royal history forever. You won't believe what Bowles reveals next. The shocking role of royal manipulations. What if the royal family isn't as united as it seems? Parker Bowles uncovers the hidden truths about how Camilla manipulated everyone around her to secure her position. Behind the facade of family harmony, there was a secret war being waged, a war where Camilla was always one step ahead. Bowles goes deep into the psychology behind Camilla's rise. He explains how she used manipulation to control not just Charles, but the entire royal circle. She didn't just play the role of the supportive wife, she was a master tactician, always working the angles to ensure she was positioned to gain the most power. From charm to subtle threats, Camilla knew exactly how to play her cards. But what were the costs of these manipulations? Bowles reveals how their family dynamics were shattered by Camilla's strategic moves. She didn't just tear apart their personal relationship, she disrupted the very foundation of the royal family, turning friends into enemies and allies into rivals. As Camilla became more entrenched in royal life, Bowles watched as everything he had worked for fell apart. While many may view Camilla's actions as mere ambition, Bowles believes there was something darker at play. He argues that she wasn't just pursuing power, she was actively dismantling the lives of those around her to build her own empire. The manipulations went far beyond personal relationships. They were about control, about dominating the royal family's future. Bowles exposes the ruthless nature of royal life, where loyalty is a currency that can be easily bought and sold. And Camilla, he reveals, was a master of this royal game, always playing her cards to perfection. The shocking truth about how she played everyone around her will leave you speechless. The moment that changed royal history forever. What if there was a defining moment that altered the course of royal history? Bowles reveals the precise moment when he realized that Camilla's power was unstoppable and that his place in her life had come to an abrupt end. This wasn't just a personal loss for Bowles, it was a turning point for the entire royal family. Bowles describes how the quiet realization of Camilla's true intentions hit him like a freight train. He was no longer just her husband, he was an obstacle. Every gesture of kindness and every moment of loyalty he offered was met with cold indifference, as Camilla focused solely on her ambition. The moment he understood this was the moment his life was irreparably changed. What was Bowles's reaction to this devastating revelation? According to Bowles, he was left with a mix of disbelief and anger. How could someone he had once loved, someone he had trusted with his entire heart, turn into someone so calculating and ruthless? In this chapter, Bowles delves into the deep emotional pain of realizing that his relationship was nothing more than a stepping stone for Camilla's rise to power. As Camilla made her ascent to the throne, Bowles's world crumbled. His personal life was reduced to a spectacle for the public, as the media feasted on the drama of their breakup. But behind the headlines, Bowles was grappling with the betrayal of a lifetime. Camilla wasn't just his wife, she was the queen in waiting, and Bowles was left behind. This pivotal moment wasn't just about the end of their marriage, it was the moment when Bowles truly understood the price of power in the royal family. And in this chapter, he pulls back the curtain to reveal how Camilla's ambitions destroyed everything in its path. You'll be shocked at how much Bowles was willing to endure before realizing the painful truth. Camilla's hidden power moves revealed. What was Camilla's ultimate plan to secure the throne, and how did she execute it without anyone noticing? Parker Bowles reveals the shocking power moves Camilla made behind closed doors to ensure her place at Charles's side. These were not just royal maneuvers, they were calculated steps to control the future of the monarchy itself. Bowles explains how Camilla used her quiet charm and impeccable timing to gain the trust of key royal figures. She wasn't just a passive figure in the background, she was a force to be reckoned with, orchestrating events to her benefit. From influencing the public perception of the royal family to manipulating the media, Camilla's power plays were as subtle as they were effective. As Bowles recounts these behind-the-scenes moves, it becomes clear that Camilla wasn't just trying to secure Charles's love, she was trying to reshape the monarchy's future to fit her vision. Every decision she made was part of a larger plan, one that involved positioning herself as the future queen consort, no matter who or what stood in her way. What made these power moves so effective? Bowles reveals how Camilla's ability to read people and situations made her nearly impossible to challenge. She was a master of using her relationships to advance her goals, quietly cementing her position in the royal family without ever appearing overtly ambitious. But as Bowles explains, these moves were part of a bigger game, a game that would ultimately change the monarchy forever. Bowles lifts the veil on Camilla's calculated strategies. You'll be stunned to learn how she manipulated both the royal family and the public to create a narrative where her ascension was inevitable. The truth behind Camilla's rise is far more complex and ruthless than anyone ever imagined. The hidden deal that secured Camilla's throne. What if the royal family wasn't just a monarchy by blood, but by calculated negotiation? Parker Bowles drops a bombshell as he reveals the secret deals that Camilla struck with key figures in the palace to secure her future as queen. These weren't just simple family gatherings, they were negotiations in a high-stakes game of power and influence that no one knew about. According to Bowles, Camilla was a master of reading the room, making deals with members of the royal family that would cement her role as queen consort, even when it seemed like an impossible feat. This chapter uncovers the hidden behind-the-scenes discussions that took place, where Camilla used every ounce of charm and cunning to make sure no one would stand in her way. But what was the price of this power? Was she willing to sacrifice everything, including her relationships with those closest to her, to ensure she could sit beside Charles on the throne? Bowles admits that he didn't understand the depth of Camilla's manipulations at first. As an insider, he witnessed firsthand the strategic alliances she built with key players in the royal family. These alliances were not just for appearances, each was a calculated move to advance her agenda. But as Bowles later discovered, Camilla's actions were much more about gaining control than about family unity. As the stakes grew higher, the pressure on Camilla intensified. She didn't just want Charles's affection, she wanted the throne, and nothing, including the well-being of those she loved, was going to stand in her way. The realization hit Bowles hard. The woman he once trusted had become a fierce political player, playing a game he was not prepared to compete in. But it was too late. Camilla's rise had already begun, and nothing could stop her now. This unseen efforts allowed Camilla to secure her place at Charles's side. What Bowles learned is nothing short of jaw-dropping, a hidden world of manipulation, strategy, and calculated moves that changed everything for the royal family. What was the real cost of Camilla's rise to power? As Bowles reflects on these shocking secrets, it's clear that the monarchy was never just about bloodlines. It was always about who could play the game best. The shocking truth about Camilla's relationship with Charles. How did a passionate affair turn into a public marriage that shocked the world? In this eye-opening chapter, Parker Bowles pulls back the curtain on the relationship between Camilla and Charles, revealing shocking truths that no one expected. What was once thought to be a forbidden love affair turns out to be the ultimate power play that redefined the course of royal history. Bowles gives a candid account of the relationship's origins, how what started as a clandestine affair between Charles and Camilla eventually grew into something far more strategic. While the world may have seen two lovers coming together, Bowles reveals how the affair was actually the first step in a much larger plan to change the future of the monarchy. Was it truly love, or was it an elaborate scheme to secure the throne? According to Bowles, the nature of their relationship was far more transactional than anyone realized. Camilla didn't just love Charles. She needed him to fulfill her ultimate goal of becoming queen consort. And Charles, despite his own feelings, seemed all too willing to play along, blind to the larger consequences of their actions. Bowles dives deep into the complexities of their bond, explaining how love and ambition became intertwined in a way that few could have predicted. But the truth doesn't stop there. Bowles also sheds light on the emotional toll this relationship took on everyone involved. From the public embarrassment of their affair to the personal sacrifices they both made, the cost of this secret romance was far higher than anyone could imagine. Charles and Camilla may have achieved their goal, but at what price? Bowles exposes how the very foundation of their relationship was built on manipulation, ambition, and power. What seemed like a love story to the outside world was actually a calculated move that changed the monarchy forever. But as Bowles points out, the fallout from this relationship is only just beginning. Prepare for more revelations that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the royal couple. Camilla's influence on the royal family. What happens when someone who isn't born into royalty becomes the most influential member of the royal family? Parker Bowles unveils the shocking ways in which Camilla shaped the royal family from behind the scenes, making moves that were both subtle and powerful. How did a woman with no royal blood become the queen consort, and what role did she play in reshaping the royal hierarchy? As Bowles reveals, Camilla's influence over the royal family was far more profound than anyone realized. It wasn't just about what she did in public, it was about the power she wielded privately. From influencing key decisions to manipulating the royal image, Camilla worked tirelessly to make sure that everything pointed toward her ascension. This wasn't just about being Charles's wife. It was about reshaping the monarchy itself, molding it to fit her own ambitions. Bowles gives us a glimpse into the dynamics between Camilla and the rest of the royal family, showing how she used her charm and sharp political instincts to win over even the most skeptical members. But behind every strategic move was a desire for power, a need to control the future of the monarchy. As Bowles describes, Camilla's involvement in royal matters was not merely as a supportive wife, but as a woman with her own agenda, a woman who wasn't afraid to take matters into her own hands. For Bowles, the true depth of Camilla's influence didn't become clear until he saw how easily she maneuvered in the royal circles. Her ability to work the system, play the game, and outmaneuver those around her was truly remarkable. While other members of the royal family worked for the good of the monarchy, Camilla worked for her own survival and ultimate domination. This reveals the story of how Camilla's behind-the-scenes influence not only secured her place in the royal family but also reshaped the monarchy for future generations. Bowles sheds light on a woman who didn't just win Charles's heart, she won the royal family's respect, all while keeping her true intentions hidden from the public eye. But what's the real price of this kind of power? And what does it mean for the future of the monarchy? The final blow. Imagine being in a relationship where trust is everything, only to discover that it was all a lie. In this devastating chapter, Parker Bowles reflects on the moment he realized that everything he had once believed in was shattered. Camilla's betrayal didn't just end their marriage, it tore apart the very fabric of his world. Bowles describes how the emotional weight of this realization weighed heavily on him, and how he was forced to confront the truth about his marriage to Camilla. The woman he had once trusted with his life had become someone entirely different, and this betrayal wasn't just personal, it was political. As Bowles takes us through the emotional devastation he felt, he reveals how it impacted every part of his life, from his relationships with his children to his sense of self-worth. But the pain wasn't just from the affair, it was the deep realization that Camilla had used him and their marriage as a stepping stone to get what she wanted, the throne. For Bowles, the emotional toll of this discovery was far greater than he could have imagined. How could he have been so blind to her manipulations? And how did he come to terms with the fact that he was merely a pawn in her grand scheme? This delves deep into Bowles's personal struggle with with betrayal as he grapples with the fallout from Camilla's ambitions. It wasn't just about losing his wife, it was about losing his place in a royal world that was no longer his. His personal loss was also the royal family's loss, as Camilla's rise to power marked the end of an era for him. Bowles reflects on the painful journey of realization and how it has shaped his view of both Camilla and the royal family. The final blow came not just from the affair, but from the knowledge that Camilla's actions had changed everything, forever. How does one rebuild after such a monumental betrayal? Bowles' story is a testament to the emotional cost of power and ambition. The hidden power struggle within the royal family. What happens when a marriage becomes the battleground for control over an entire institution? In this shocking chapter, Parker Bowles unveils the unseen power struggles that took place within the royal family, with Camilla at the center of it all. The monarchy, long seen as a pillar of stability, was being pulled apart from the inside by a woman whose ambition knew no bounds. Bowles reveals that while the public saw a united family, the reality was much darker. The royal family was caught in a tug-of-war for control, with Camilla positioning herself as the ultimate authority. Behind the scenes, there were whisper campaigns, strategic alliances, and ruthless maneuvers aimed at solidifying her influence over the monarchy. This wasn't just about love or duty, it was about power, and Camilla knew exactly how to wield it. As Bowles paints a picture of this internal power struggle, we see a monarch who was not just fighting for acceptance, but for dominance. The story behind her rise was not one of serendipity, but of calculated moves. Bowles, with his insider knowledge, details the countless moments where Camilla made her play for the throne. Each decision, each alliance, each well-placed word in the right ear brought her one step closer to the ultimate prize. But the question remains, how far is too far when pursuing power? Camilla's rise to power wasn't without casualties, both emotional and political. As Bowles reflects on the price of these battles, he reveals just how much was sacrificed in the name of ambition. While Camilla may have emerged victorious, the legacy of this struggle leaves an indelible mark on the royal family and on her own soul. The final betrayal. Parker Bowles' heartbreaking goodbye. It was the end of a chapter in Parker Bowles' life that he never saw coming. After years of playing his part in the royal drama, Bowles finally reached the point of no return. In this heart-wrenching chapter, he reveals the ultimate betrayal, the moment when he knew that his marriage to Camilla was truly over, and the consequences that followed. Bowles speaks candidly about the emotional devastation he faced after realizing that Camilla's actions had irreparably damaged their relationship. This wasn't just a personal betrayal, it was a public one, and it would have ripple effects that would extend far beyond their marriage. As he recounts the gut-wrenching conversations and the moments of final clarity, it's clear that the man who once stood by Camilla was now a spectator in his own life. What made this final betrayal even harder to accept was the realization that Camilla's pursuit of power had been a constant thread in their relationship. Everything, from their marriage to their personal moments, had been overshadowed by her ambitions. Bowles came to understand that he was never truly a partner in their relationship. He had always been a stepping stone in her pursuit of the crown, and now it was time to let go. But the emotional toll didn't stop there. As Bowles grapples with the finality of the situation, he is forced to confront the reality that everything he once believed in had been upended. The royal family, which he had once believed in, had now become a place of conflict, deceit, and manipulation. And Camilla, the woman he once trusted, had become someone he could no longer recognize. Is the royal family forever changed? What happens when power is taken to its extreme? In the final chapter of Parker Bowles' shocking revelations, he turns his focus on the aftermath of Camilla's rise to power. The monarchy, once a symbol of tradition and stability, has been irrevocably altered by the events that led to Camilla becoming queen. But what does that mean for the future of the royal family? Bowles explores how Camilla's ascent has forever changed the royal family's dynamics. Her journey to the throne was one of manipulation, control, and unyielding ambition, but the impact of her reign extends far beyond the palace gates. Bowles argues that the monarchy is no longer the institution it once was. Camilla's influence has left a lasting imprint, not just on the family, but on the very fabric of the monarchy itself. As Bowles reflects on the long-term effects of Camilla's actions, he reveals that the royal family will never be the same. The monarchy, once seen as a symbol of stability and tradition, now faces a future shaped by Camilla's ambition. Her reign may have begun with a quiet, strategic climb, but its consequences will echo throughout history. And for Bowles, the monarchy's future is uncertain, tainted by the decisions made in the pursuit of power. Bowles contemplates the cost of Camilla's rise. Was it worth it? What did the monarchy lose in the process? And what does the future hold for the royal family now that Camilla is at its helm? These questions linger long after the chapter ends, leaving readers to ponder the true price of power. As the royal family moves forward, the legacy of Camilla's reign will be a controversial one. Her rise to power, fueled by ambition and secrecy, has forever changed the monarchy. And for Parker Bowles, it's a painful reminder that that the past can never be erased. The story of Camilla's rise to power is filled with shocking twists and dark secrets, leaving us questioning everything we thought we knew about the royal family. As more of the hidden truths come to light, we're forced to reckon with the weight of these revelations. How far will people go for power, and what's the cost of betrayal? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you found this story as mind-blowing as we did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more explosive updates. Don't miss out. Click on the next video to uncover even more shocking truths.